going to get into Dallas, Philly in 1 second. I just want to give you, before we get into that game, the NFC standings and why these games mean so much, right? So the Giants play at Minnesota. All right. The Giants win that game. They're 9-5-1.
An NFC win also.
Say again?
An NFC
and
win.
An NFC win, yeah.
Important.
If Dallas loses to Philly, and I know Dallas is favored now because of the situation with Jalen Hurts, they would drop down to 10-5. All of a sudden, they're not locked into that 5 spot. So just keep in mind why all these late divisional games are so important. But let's get into this game first. Eagles win 1 game. They wrap up the number 1 seed on the bye, which obviously is what you want because then your team can get healthy. Jalen Hurts thinks he's going to play. He wants to play. Nick Sirianni yesterday said, look, I'm not counting the kid out. I don't think any of us think he's going to play. No. The inside scoop apparently from Philly is that's going to be Gardner Minshew. Can they beat the Cowboys with Gardner Minshew?
I think they can. I think Gardner Minshew and what we've seen of him when he's playing relaxed, when there's not a lot of pressure on him, all the pressure's on the Dallas Cowboys.
I agree with you.
Game. I think Gardner Minshew plays with his hair down. I think he's going to go out there and throw the ball around. I think they're going to have the same style of offense that they would if Jalen Hurts was there. Maybe a little less RPOs. He's not the best. He's not the most mobile quarterback. But I think they will have a game plan in place for him to throw the ball around and have that balance with the run game. But they won't be shy about throwing it up in the air and making some big plays down the field, which is what they've typically done all year long.
Yeah, and by the way, people forget Gardner Minshew was a starting quarterback in this league. Again,
pretty darn good.
The rhetoric out of Philly right now is that he runs the scout team offense for the Eagles, that he's been carving up the Eagle defense. Now, we heard similar things about Brock Purdy when he was getting backup reps and running scout team offense against the best defense in football, which is why for San Francisco, none of those guys are surprised that Purdy at least looks like he knows what he's doing. This guy's he's a veteran. He's been a starter. He knows what that's like, and he's got all the skills to be a good quarterback. I just wonder, one of the aspects of the Philly offense that is dominant is Jalen's ability to run the ball. Not that Gardner's not a good athlete, but he's not a runner like Jalen is.
Well, I think it's both. I think the Eagles have always done a good job of having those designed quarterback runs that allows Jalen Hurts to be dynamic and go out there and run. But I think a lot of the runs by Jalen Hurts have just been defensive breakdowns where he just sees an opening and just takes it, which I think Gardner Minshew is not an above-average runner. But if he sees that opening, if they drop back into a 2-man shell and there's space out there, he's going to take that run and get the most that he can. He might not break the 30-yard touchdown run, but he'll get the first down.
All right, so one of the side stories in this game is, what we've been talking about a lot on the show, which is it seems like the Dallas Cowboys are following the script of win 10, 11 games, late in the year start faltering. What's wrong with the offense? Defense isn't living up to the hype. One and done in the playoffs. So Jerry Jones was asked specifically about Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has thrown a couple interceptions. The offense, while they have scored a lot of points, is not a smooth operating machine right now. So Jerry Jones was quoted, I think it's up on the board right here, "We can win with Dak playing like that," to be trite. I thought he played outstanding. As we see, he wasn't playing against chopped liver out there. I do like chopped liver on toasted rye bread, by the way, with a little, boiled egg on top. Ooh. I don't like Triscuits; they're too dry. And so I thought he did play really well. I thought he made good decisions. I don't like saltines with chopped liver. Overall, we can. If he plays like that, we can win most games. Now, is Jerry Jones paying lip service to a kid he knows is struggling, or do you think that's real?
I think he's paying some lip service. I mean, there's no way he could look at what Dak's done since he's come back from injury and say this is the recipe for success. He's got 10 picks since he's come back. I think
he leads the league in interceptions since he came back.
That's correct. And they just don't look as fluid and as smooth as they once did earlier in the season. So that would worry me if I'm Jerry Jones. Why are we continuing to falter later on in the season? Why are we not staying as strong? Why are we not looking as fluid when our number one quarterback, our guy, is still under the helm?
Yeah, so here's the deal. Dallas, of course, has Philly this Saturday, and then they go to Tennessee, a whole different ballgame now because, Malik Willis is their starting quarterback. That's the Thursday night game next week, and then they end the year at Washington. Here's the reality for Dallas. They've already clinched a playoff berth. Now it just comes down to are they 5 or 6. Listen, I I like the Giants a lot. I love what Brian Dable's doing there. The goatee, not so much, but I respect it, right? I totally respect what he's trying to do. I think Dallas is just going to be the 5 seed. I don't think the Giants are going to catch them. I think it'll be interesting for a week. I don't think Dallas is going to lose to Tennessee. I think the Washington game is going to be irrelevant to them. And then the question is going to be, can the Dallas Cowboys go to Tampa and beat a sorry-ass Tampa Bay Buccaneer football team?
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's literally it. And that's literally going to be the testament to their season up until that point. Once they make the playoffs, can they beat that first team? Can they make it deep into the playoffs? Can they make that playoff run, which is what they expect to do and which is what everyone expected them to do prior to the season?
And here's the other reality. When you look right there at the playoff picture, if you'll allow me, Philly's the best team. I think we all agree on that.
Right.
And San Francisco's got the best defense. Mm-hmm. All right, great. Well, I look at it from this standpoint. I could beat anybody else on that list, right?
Yeah.
I could beat anybody else on that list. And if Jalen Hurts' shoulder ain't right, I can beat them too.
Yep.
San Francisco, is Brock Purdy really going to be a guy in the postseason that's going to ball out? Is he not going to be nervous, young kid, first chance ever? Is he not going to throw a big interception, right? So if I'm a Dallas fan, yeah, I'm worried because I see what I see every year with this team.
Yeah.
But when I look at that board, the only 2 teams I can't beat today are the Eagles and San Francisco. And there's a chance I can beat San Francisco because I'm not sure how good that offense will be with Brock Purdy come the postseason.
It'd be interesting to see. I mean, this is a tremendous lineup here, tremendous season. I think just the amount of parity across the season all year long has just been incredible. But I'm excited to see what the Cowboys do. Can they sustain? Can they, change that narrative that they've had all these years of faltering towards the end of the season and not being able to finish strong?
Yeah, and the narrative's not just about the Cowboys. It's about Dak Prescott.
Correct.
Because you saw the Cowboys offense flourish when he was out with the thumb. Comes back, offense pretty good, defense becomes rock star style defense. But now you look at him going, hey, wait a minute. This is all the stuff we've been worrying about, right? This is the same crap we see every single year. And for a guy that's got a single playoff win, at some point, if you want to be thought about as a top 5 quarterback, which you'd want to be, right?
Yeah. Of course.
You got to start winning playoff games.
Especially for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, they're predicated on winning. Like, let's be honest. Like, Jerry Jones isn't there to just win a couple games, make the playoffs, be kind of this middle-tier team that makes the playoffs every year. He wants to win, and that's why he makes decisions every offseason to do that. That's why he's in the media talking to us all the time. We hear more about him than the head coach. We hear his voice more than the head coach's voice, but this is what they want. They need to come in and win right now.
Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.